good-looking pan. And any barmaid can be a star maid.
Welcome to another episode of A-List Classics, where we talk about must-see movies that are considered to be the greatest films of all time. I am your host, the Game Changer, Wes Troop. And this week we are hopping aboard our mint-flavored time machine and heading back to the year 1955, where we're going to talk about a black and white drama that sees Frank Sinatra as a drug addict. That's right, we're going to be discussing The Man with the Golden Arm. Former card dealer Frankie Machine has been released from the federal narcotics farm in Lexington, Kentucky, feeling refreshed and ready to start a new, clean life. He returns to his neighborhood in Chicago, which is quite sketchy and still filled with the mostly negative acquaintances he keeps, including his former drug dealer, Louie, who keeps popping up in Frankie's business. His wife, Zosh, who's been wheelchair-bound for years from a car crash caused by Frankie, is thrilled to see him as well. While Frankie wants to try a new career as a drummer, Zosh thinks it's a horrible idea and he should go back to dealing for illegal card games. The only person who seems to be a good influence is his former flame, Molly, who encourages Frankie to follow his dreams. While trying to score an audition, Frankie's life slowly starts to go back to the way it was, as it becomes harder to stay away from the people and the drug that put him in a downward spiral in the past. The Man with the Golden Arm is a marvelous drama. The film is based on the 1949 novel of the same name by Nelson Agren. At the time, the subject of drug addiction was very controversial and rarely had been portrayed in film, not to mention references to prostitution, corrupt cops, illegal gambling, and violence. It was directed by Otto Preminger, who had previously directed The Moon is Blue, which was also a bit taboo at the time for its sexual subject matter, as well as go on to helm Anatomy of a Murder and Advise and Consent. The Man with the Golden Arm was released on December 15th, 1955 in theaters and was a hit at the box office, as well as a positive reaction from critics. It's interesting that the name of the drug Frankie is hooked on is actually never mentioned, but is implied to be heroin. The film has a strong message and shows some horrible negative consequences from drug addiction. It's sad to see Frankie trying to make his life better, trying to score an audition as a drummer, but begin to fall back into his old habits. The scene where Frankie tries to quit the drug cold turkey is wildly effective. The people around him aren't a big help either, like Louie always looking to stir up trouble, or Zosh constantly screaming and crying about pretty much everything, including for him to go back to his dishonest job dealing at poker games that could go on for days. I did get a couple of unintentional laughs throughout, mostly from a few effects that for their time look good, but haven't really aged that well. While nowadays the story might seem pretty standard, what makes it still rather different are a number of twists and surprises that play out, such as characters who are hiding big secrets that definitely keep you involved. Also, we really start to feel different about the relationship between Frankie and Molly as the film goes on, which seems pretty shady at first, but as we learn more, we start to root for them. The performances range from terrific to a little over the top at times. Frank Sinatra does a spectacular job as Frankie Machine, the card dealer trying to become a drummer and quit drugs for good. Also included Eleanor Parker as Sophia Zosh Machine, Frankie's wife who's wheelchair-bound but isn't exactly the best person. Kim Novak as Molly Novotny, Frankie's former woman on the side who's the only person who encourages him positively. Darren McGavin as Nifty Louie Fomorowski, Frankie's former drug dealer who's constantly buzzing around trying to get Frankie back into his old habits. And Arnold Stang as Sparrow, Frankie's friend who will do anything for him, even if that means breaking the law. The film was nominated for 3 Academy Awards, including Best Actor for Sinatra, Best Art Direction, Set Decoration, Black and White, and Elmer Bernstein for Best Music. In 2005, the movie was preserved in the Academy Film Archive. The Man with the Golden Arm is a brave and compelling drama that doesn't disappoint and shows us a fascinating side of the 1950s we really never got to see. Alright, well that's the show. I'll be back with another episode of A-List Classics very soon. But until then, don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube. YouTube.com/WestsideOf515. Like the show on Facebook, Facebook.com/WestTroopAlist. And of course, you can follow me on the Twitter and the Instagram @WesAlist. Until next time, Troop out.